Yo, keep the faith, never lose hope. What's going on, faithfuls? And we're back with a fun-filled episode of the Faithful Empire that's powered by the Red and Gold 24/7. And of course, we're live on all major platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. All right. And of course, if it's your first time here, please hit the like subscribe button. All right, and turn on all notifications. All right. So that way we will be notified, and that will be all good to go. All right. So, of course, before I introduce everybody, I wanted to give a 10-second pause. I know we did on Red and Gold on Thursday for Goose. He passed away this past week. And I only know him because I know he was just an analysis guy on the side of the field when each game he was on. Most likely probably the East Coast he was on most of the time. So, yeah, basically I'll just do a 10-second pause for you guys, and we'll be right back, all right? All right, 10 seconds. R.I.P. there, Goose. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for that. So, now, of course, I'm your boy Ryan. Of course, next over here, got Izzy.
Hi, everybody.
Kingsman over there. Money Mav. And, of course, Paul the Hope with Rubes. What's up, girl? What's up, little girl?
Hello.
And, of course, our newcomer, she agreed to do it on the weekend shows with the Faithful Empire with us. And I'd like to introduce you, Denise. Hey, Denise.
Hello.
Please tell us where you're from and everything, and get it going for yourself. Go ahead.
I am from Arizona. I have been a 49ers fan since I'd say in late 70s, early 80s. And my favorite all-time 49er player is Jerry Rice. I got Jerry Rice's autograph. I actually worked with a couple of 49er players that no one would ever know because they sat on the bench their whole life, but that's okay. They were, anyways, I worked in the banking industry, and they actually played with Jerry Rice, and they got me Jerry Rice's autograph years ago when they played with him. And other than the 49ers, I'm actually Arizona. I'm a Suns fan, and I don't really watch baseball, so I guess you could say I'm a Diamondback fan, but I could really care less because I don't watch baseball. It's boring to me. And other than that, I pretty much work, and I'm married, and I got my kids, and that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Doesn't she sound like the female version of Ron?
Yes.
I mean, from the same place, like the same themes.
She's from Arizona. She's from Phoenix. Yes.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Ron used to work within the same field she, right?
Yep.
You say you in banking?
I'm a mortgage underwriter now.
So I mean, that's like the female version.
Well, you know what happens
when
you live in Arizona.
Version of Ron.
Well, you know what happens when you live in Arizona? It's so hot out here that it melts your brain, and we all become one.
I believe it. Hey, real quick, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. We gave a moment of silence for Goose because I mean, yeah, we all grew up with him and everything, but lost a 49er legend to like a week ago.
About a week ago.
What's his name? McElhenney?
Hugh McElhenney, yeah.
I mean, I don't even think we even spoke.
Yeah. No, we didn't. I
don't even think
Mikey didn't want to go further than
that. Gotcha.
Yeah, man. $1 million backfield.
Just so you know, Mav, your audio and video is a little choppy. Just a little choppy. Just so you know. On my end, of course.
So I'm gonna leave and come back.
Got you. I'll bring it back. Don't worry. It's all good. Yeah, because Denise, you mind me of Money Mav. because you can talk. You say you can talk, you'll do good with Mav. You can talk too. So that's good. That's all we're here for anyway, talking. So basically. So yeah, I know we touched on. I don't know if you guys want to, but I know I have a bunch of questions also. And then we'll do the memory. Name your top 5 teams, skills players, if you can, off your head. You don't have to worry about judging or anything. Wait a whole 2 minutes to think, but just off the top of your head, if you can. I know mine do. Yeah, Paul. I'm sorry. Say it again, man.
Ladies first, Denise and Melissa. Who's yours?
Ladies first. Ladies first.
No pressure.
There's some pressure. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say I really love the football team. I'm not calling them their new name. It's so stupid. So I love the football team receivers. I love Scary Terry. I loved Curtis Samuel. I love Diami Brown. I love the Philly receivers. I really liked AJ Brown, and my father is still sour that Devontae Smith is a Philly instead of a Giant, so that's always fun. I love the Niners receivers. Finally, I can find more than one receiver I really love on this team, which has been something that I've been hoping for. And I really love the weapons in Cincinnati. I don't really have a 5th.
Fair play.
Okay. Let's see. So, I would say everyone's probably going to hate me for this answer. I would have to say Kansas City's receiving core, just because I don't know how good they're going to be this year now that the speedster left, but I would say them. I would also, our linebacking core, I think we have the best linebacking core in the NFL. I love our linebacking core. I think our linebacking core is the shiznit. Let's see. Our defensive unit. The quarterbacks count.
Yeah, why not?
I'm a big fan of Josh Allen. Actually, I wanted him when he was available. That's who I wanted us to take, or that's who that's who I wanted. So, yeah, I really like him. And actually, Melissa stole my other one. My other one was going to be the Washington football team, because I love Terry. I love Scary Terry. He's one of my favorites. So yeah, Melissa stole my other one. So yeah, that's it.
Thief.
Yeah, I know. Thief.
It's not my fault. Breezy used to have those. Breezy used to have those shows where he was like, "Who are your favorite players?" And he always covered Diami Brown, and that was one of my favorite players. I was so excited for this guy, and then he happened to just go to the NFC East, and it just made me love Scary Terry more. And I loved Curtis Samuel as a Panther, but then he's always hurt as a football team member. So,
well, you know what, Melissa? It's just great minds think alike. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to do kid duty. For a quick.
That's okay, dude.
Didn't know if you guys want to do that. If you don't guys want to do the skill player, don't worry about it.
come on, Paul.
Plowing through. Come on,
Let's
Paul.
go, Paul.
Up to you guys.
To
want to
be
do that.
fair, I was nodding along. Scary Terry, fantasy football favourite of mine. Josh Allen, Denise. I've loved Josh Allen since he came to the league. I caught the Kittle Josh Allen podcast that I've done the other day. That was awesome. It just made me feel like Josh Allen's even better than what I thought. Justin Herbert is a favourite at the 49er Faithful UK, purely because my co-host Nadji is an Oregon fan. and he'd gone on about this superstar, and I didn't really feel it was going to translate, and it did. I think Derrick Henry last year really impressed me. I tend to focus purely on 49ers players. That's where I fall down in fantasy. So when you're saying pick players from other teams, it's not easy for me to do, to be fair. And on that note, Ruby, who's your favourite players?
George Kittle, Trey Lance, Debo, and Fred Warner.
Yes. There we go. Enough said.
So before we hand over to Nick, Ruby's PE teacher is a Broncos fan, and he constantly messages me because he's a good friend of mine, and he's like, yes, you don't need your daughter to remind me how great the 49ers are. And I'm like, what we do?
Yes, we do. Our opinion.
Love it, Rose. Love it, girl. Yeah. Just so your mic was on mute. She was trying to say something, I think. Yeah. Say it again.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're so very welcome. You're so very welcome. Don't worry about it. You're
Well,
okay.
the only comeback the Broncos fan does have on me, though, is he reminds me that I may do several shows, but I'm not as successful as Rube, who's been on the Wayne Breezy show. But he does great take great night to remind me of that. So,
He's got you there.
House.
All right, Nick, who are your people?
Staying away from Niners. I mean, I know one we haven't seen yet, but I'm really kind of excited to see how this whole Miami experiment is going to work out. That looks like it's going to be quite fun to watch. I do enjoy watching the Vikings running backs, Cook, and even he's got some tidy backups. Again, staying with the running back theme with Carolina. When you got CMC, one of our old boys, Jeremy, I can't remember his surname now, obviously an old Niners draft pick. You know, they're quite fun to watch.
Are you talking about Jeremy Chin, the defensive player?
No, Jeremy Muck. He's the backup for CMC.
Okay.
Am I even talking about the right team, or was he? No, I think he actually went to the Titans potentially.
The Nichols, the Titans.
With Nichols, the Titans, yeah. But I mean, CMC is always fun to watch. I mean, he can do pretty much anything as long as he's actually on the field. And of course, he's an old Stanford lad. And the last one, you might hate me for it, but I do like watching Deandre Hopkins. Wow. He's always fun. I hate watching him against us, but he's always fun to watch. You know he's going to you throw it generally within 5 yards around him. He's probably going to go and get it. He's something else, that man is. Really something else.
I agree with that.
I love that you brought up Alexander Madison because like nobody ever really talks about him as like a great like RB2 on a team.
They've got a heck of a backfield up in Minnesota. I mean,
I know it's like always Chubb and Hunt, or it's like some other one and some other one. It's like never Madison and Cook. It's just Cook.
I mean, Madison needs his dues, man. I mean, when Cook got injured, is it last year and the year before? Madison stood in like a champ.
Oh, Madison versus the Packers is like one of my favorite things in the world to see. They always like shut down Cook, but Madison's always right there just to like go right up the middle and pick on Preston Smith, which is like the most fun thing in the world for me to watch.
So yeah, I mean, I don't have a fifth. I got to be honest. Like I said, I tried hard to stay away from the Niners because I focus so heavily on them. Obviously,
right?
I just love that nobody mentioned the horrible duo in the 12 universe.
No, we can't mention. We've got three. I was saying to you off air, three of my good friends have started their own fantasy football pod, and one of them's a Seahawks fan. And I took great pleasure on watching him today say how much the Seahawks are going to suck and how much he knows we'll be coming after him on social media after all the grief he's given me over the years. And I was like, I will take great pleasure when the 49ers own the Seahawks this year. But jumping on what Nick said there, I mean, I watched the Bills-Chiefs game again. That was awesome. I do like to watch Red Zone, and I love the NFL in general, apart from the Seahawks, the one team I can't get away with.
Yeah, I love Red Zone as well.
It's good fun, man.
Welcome back, Mav.
Is
I'm
there?
hoping I'm not choppy no more.
You're not.
Be all right.
There are 5 players, Mav, that are not 49ers players.
Some reason.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Okay, hey Matt, we were going over the 5 like we do in red and gold. We're going over the 5 teams, skills players. That's what we're working on right now. What we're doing right now. So if you want to go over yours again, you can. If you want to. You still there?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I kind
all
of
that
figured that I
heat in
heard
Florida.
Seahawks stuff, so I'm like, oh, okay.
That damn heat. Yeah, I can say it now because after 7 minutes, we're good.
It is.
You all right, Mav?
You
You got it, Mav? You good?
He's choppy for me.
Yeah, me too. Yep. All right, who's next?
That's everybody.
That's
We've gone
everybody?
through it, mate.
Okay. I know I don't know everybody from the NFL. Anyone that really follow our team, of course. So basically, I'm probably going to drop out of that question for myself. So, I'm not very good at doing that. That's why I let the fellas do their thing. Let them do their thing. So, okay, you guys.
I thought you might try for some brownie points and drop a few Patriots players, get a few brownie points from the missus.
No.
I mean,
build them up.
You could mention KB for all the people who are Kendrick Bourne fans.
Yeah, that was one of them. That was one of them. I don't know if you should put, of course, Mac on the damn list.
Nope.
So, I guess our first question that we're going through, and yes, I put them all together, so you know, if you all get them, like them. More iconic rookie, Bosa or Big Play Dre? Shoot, whoever wants to go first.
Go on, we'll pull this one. Come on, me and you, Paul.
Ladies first, or whoever wants to go.
UK gents first.
They nailed it.
Yeah, he nailed it. Yep.
It's Bosa planting the flag and sacking the beep out of that man up in Ohio. I mean, he destroyed him. Bosa was what a rookie season.
Yeah, it's Bosa for me. Bosa I'm sorry, like Bosa for me, because I don't care what anyone says. I will argue. I will die on this hill. Literally die on it. It's like we would have won the Super Bowl if Bosa was not being held the whole entire game. The whole entire game he was being held.
Chokehold after chokehold.
Yes, it was ridiculous. And there were refs sitting right there looking at him like, hey, Nick, how's that going? You like those chokeholds? You like that, buddy? How's that going? Can you get out of that?
Only rookie to ever be crack blocked by 2 or more people every week. That's how dominant he was.
It was ridiculous. My vote definitely is Nick Bosa all day long. Like, his rookie season was insane. Insane.
I mean, to be fair, Ryan, I don't watch a lot of college football because I'm not allowed to, because I get Sundays. And even I knew who Nick Bosa was coming out of college. And yeah, he blown it away in his first rookie season. And even like last year, coming back off the ACL and doing what he's done. Obviously, we've got high hopes for Trey Lance, but as it stands at this moment in time, 97, pay him what he wants. He better stay in red and gold forever. And I cannot wait to see him start. Like Nick said there, that GIF, I make no apologies. I've used that GIF about 3 million times, and I will continue to use it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That was awesome.
Denise, actually, you already did yours. I'm sorry, my bad. I was painting my daughter. Melissa already knows what my answer was about this one. I absolutely love Bosa.
I feel awful because I loved Bosa's year, and they were both rookies in the same year. But I'm gonna go with Big Play Dre. He had that fantastic interception in overtime versus the Seahawks in Week 10. He
Thank you,
had the
Glofton, for missing the field goal.
I did not mention that he was there. He had the huge goal line stand. He was a key factor in the Packers game, destroying them up the middle. He is a great tackler, and I love Big Play Jay. I love the guys that are in the later rounds that really show up and show out every week. So, as much as I love Bosa and him intercepting Kyle Allen and having his monstrous year, and I'm not debating that he didn't have a monstrous rookie year, I'm going with 57.
I want to bounce off that since you brought up Bosa in the interception against the Panthers on Josh Allen. Kyle Allen, was that his rookie year when he intercepted that ball?
Yeah, they were both rookies in 2019.
I was getting the point to that.
One was the first rounder, one was the fifth rounder.
Would have been the first rookie defender to intercept a ball and run it back for a touchdown in history?
He didn't run it back for a touchdown. He ran out of bounds.
I'm saying if you would have. I don't know if that would have been the first in history for a defensive lineman.
But yeah, Bosa.
Kinlaw had a touchdown in his rookie year.
Maybe
Kinlaw was decidedly closer to the line, though. I mean, Bosa's not made for running the length.
Okay,
of the
but
field.
you know, it was nice seeing Kinlaw do the little flip thing that he did into the end zone. For 5 seconds, I was freaked out. I thought he might have torn something doing that, but as soon as he popped up and they were celebrating, and that was right around Christmas, that made it a little more special, in my opinion.
That was so funny, though, when he did that. That was funny. I mean, he thought he was going to do a thumb roll, but he didn't. He messed that one up big time. But I'm glad he got up. I'm sorry, celebrating with the team. I'm happy for that, at least. But, yeah, I go for Bosa. Even though the Big Dre stopped, that game was insane. When he stopped Hostler, is that his name? Hollister,
yeah.
When he stopped him.
And that was Jacob Hollister on both of those plays versus the Seahawks. The interception and the goal line stand.
Less about that Monday night game, though, please. That was my first ever game at Levi's, and it was a damn loss.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick.
Monday Night Football. If you're gonna watch a loss for your first one, it might as well be an overtime loss.
Yeah, Paul. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're done. I'm sorry you're done, Nick. I'm sorry, bud.
No, I was just going to echo. Nick was over in Levi's crying, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning in the UK. And we were crying because the prime time games, you stay up. And that roller coaster, Nick, for me at home, thinking we were going to win, for you being at Levi's, man.
It's gutted. It was that kick, though. It's Chase McLaughlin's kick. I mean, what was he thinking? Like, the goalposts aren't over there. It's there. Forward. Not there. There. I mean, it was harder to hit the damn bloody tunnel than it was the goalposts.
Oh my God.
That was funny, Nick. Over here, over there.
Being from the UK, we tend to know a lot about kicking the ball. So when kickers are terrible, it's like...
Yep, it's very terrible.
You tell him, Rube.
Oh my God.
I could have kicked that. And I'm disabled.
Just think it's going to taste even better when you're there this year, though, Nick, on those 2 games at Levi's.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's get a winning record.
I got you. Yeah, but I love Bosa ever since he got drafted off. So, but I love the plays that Dre did. Believe me, I did. Oh, that was a tough one. I brought that up. That was a tough one. It was very tough. I'm so hyped on Bosa. I'm sorry. I pray to God he has a monstrous year this year. And Dre,
hasn't he? Bosa's betting on himself this year. He's turned up at OTAs. He hasn't negotiated a new contract. Seen him participating was a bit of a surprise. He's looking lean. as much as he wasn't exactly fat before, he's looking a little leaner as it is now, and I think he's going to have a monster year, to be honest.
He's got more support this coming season as well. I think you're going to see, I reckon, 18, 19 sacks. I don't think that's unrealistic for Bosa.
But I do hope he gets that record, though. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Eventually, yeah.
Oh, I love that. So
I know Perk and I are definitely going to be hashtagging every time that Bosa's chokehold because that's ridiculous that keeps getting away with that.
Well, that's the thing that drives me crazy is like they're literally watching him get like. I mean, I'm sorry, he literally is getting held like this, and no one's saying anything. I'm like, really?
Oh, don't even bring up the freaking thing because every time I want to like just punch a Saints fan every time they mention shit like that. Like, you got pissed off at the clothesline tackle to Drew Brees, but this guy is literally being held around his neck, wrapped around his neck, and you're like doing nothing.
Exactly.
It's disgusting.
The Chiefs Super Bowl game, Denise, as well. We have a meet up every year, 49 for the UK, regardless of whoever's in the Super Bowl. At the start of the season, and obviously as that season went on, and we were like going to the Super Bowl, the numbers grew, and the lights came on at like 5:30 a.m. in the morning after we'd lost. And my partner Tracy was with me, and she was like, "Morgue." It was just deathly silent, and then obviously. To put yourself through the pain of re-watching the game the next day to say, right, where did we lose it? And it was like, hold. And it was like, how are they not seeing these holds I can take?
It's ridiculous.
Into a better team. I'm taking nothing away from the homes because I've got some friends who are Chiefs fans. And obviously, Mr. Smug on the Shank Club, he likes to going with this. But you can't argue that game Bosa was just unbelievable how many holds there was.
Yep.
Ugh.
Come on, Ryan, lighten the mood. We've gone down
hey
the
Mav, you can hear me on your audio. I don't know if it's a question or not, but he put something in a private chat, so I guess it's a question. Jeremy Chin, the first rookie to score 2 back-to-back defensive touchdowns against the Vikings.
Yep, and they were back-to-back plays too. It was awesome.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremy Chin should have been up for
back-to-back.
defensive rookie of the year instead of Chase Young, and that was a fine shame just because he was a Panther. They didn't give him any credit for his season.
It's always the same. Name's got to be saleable.
That is awesome.
It's a wonderful stop.
Yeah. I got some really nasty notes under my door the following day after that game. There was nothing passive-aggressive. They were just aggressive.
Yeah, but because of the fact that they've beat us so many times over the last 10 years and the fact that it came down to that and it came down to that play, I think it was my cover on Twitter for a good 6 months after that. That had to be done.
You know what the best part was? They always whine about how Fred Warner should have been called for pass interference. And I'm like, the championship game. And then, like, I won't listen to anything after that because there's no way after what happened at Bowman that any Seahawk fan should come at a Niner fan about bullshit calls.
They haven't got anything. I mean, Bowman caught that ball, having broken his leg.
And he held it for 2 minutes.
Places. He broke his leg in 2 places, still caught it.
See, they play Trey. Always.
And they had the audacity to throw popcorn.
What's up, Pamela Queen? You know,
Hi,
girl.
Panama.
You're in New Jersey.
Hey,
the gang is all here. Yep, we're here. And of course, we're live. So yeah, for me, I love Bosa, but that big play Dre, that was a tough one for me. So I thought to myself after I thought about that question, I'm like, oh my god, that's a big good one though. It's gonna be a good one. So okay, we'll move on from that, and I know for a fact next one on the docket is a real good one, and it actually bounces off of Dre's too. It does. So here you go. Who gave the most impactful play? 4th and 2 versus the stop. You know what 4th 2 is, right? You know what it's from?
Remind.
I'll give you one word. Saints game. 2 words.
Metrodome.
Yep. The 4th and 2 play. George Kittle.
That was, yeah. I think you know where a Club 85 is going on this. I screamed my goddamn house down after that. I didn't even care.
Yeah, Panama, he hasn't got rid of the crust yet.
Let's be honest. I mean, that's like old news.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
The Debo thing will happen.
Even George Kittle said it. He literally said that he's going to get extended like they're going to extend him the same time they extended Kittle, the same time they extended Warner. That's when they do their contracts. That's when they do them. They do them all the same time. Like he's going to get extended. They're not going to extend him early just to please him. They're not going to do it. Like this is the way we do business.
No, I'm sorry. From what I heard is the 49ers have enough money to pay both of them. So I mean, I don't even know why we're worried about anything that's going on.
Oh,
like
I'm not
Denise
worried.
was just saying.
I honestly think that like everyone is blowing it out of proportion because like I get it that he, it's still out there. He still requested a trade. They're not going to like. Let's be honest. If people really want to be honest, people are afraid that if a trade, and I'm not talking about the 49ers, I'm talking about another team. Other teams are afraid that if they trade Debo, that they're not going to get the Debo that they saw last year because Debo literally came out and said that he does not want to be used the way he was used last year. So if you're another team and you trade for Debo, are you getting the Debo that you got last year? The other teams don't know that, and they're not going to trade for him thinking that he is going to dictate how he's used. Sorry, not sorry. That is the reality. Teams are not going to let a player dictate how they're used. It's different with the 49ers. Kyle and Debo have a relationship. Another team that has no relationship with Debo is not going to let him dictate how he's going to be used when they're forking over trade, money and picks and everything else. That ain't happening.
I mean, it's not even just about the relationship that they have either. Is the fact that the 49ers were getting depleted at certain positions that required Debo's skills to kick in at that moment in time. I understand Debo with a passion of not wanting to play all those different positions on the field when you only paying me for one. I get that. But
I get it too.
Any other team that drafts for him, he needs to understand that he is that Swiss Army knife. If somebody goes down and they have no replacement, he has to jump in. I mean, it's part of the game. It's part of being an athlete.
Exactly. I agree with you. But I'm saying, like, if he was going to get traded, he would have got traded during the draft. And what we were getting offered for him was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do Let's Talk Sports on a Thursday, Denise, with a Jets fan. And he was like, we'll offer you like a 3rd round pick, or we'll offer you like one of our 1st round picks. And I was like, no. The asking price for Debo is we want to rinse you for all we can get. And I wasn't worried that we were going to get screwed. I knew it was going to take something special. And you're exactly right. Teams don't want to trade for Debo because they don't know whether they're going to get the Debo that we had. I was glad to see him at OTAs. I'm not overly worried. George Kittle talked about it the other night and said the deal's going to get done. Shanahan said the deal's going to get done. Lynch just said the deal's going to get done. My friend who's a Seahawks fan today has been trying to wind me up until DK Metcalf didn't turn up at training. And Debo did.
Scary Terry didn't show up either.
Is it? It's been a few holdouts.
I think Scary Terry really is trying to get the hell out of Washington and get the hell away from Snyder, because that one looks like no matter what he's charged, he's not going to back down on that.
Panama Queen has a great comment. She said that, the way Debo was used was because of lack of QB play. Well, that's exactly right. We actually have a quarterback now who can actually throw the ball. Oh my God, go figure. A QB who can throw the ball, Jesus Christ, let there be light. Because, I mean, come on. Who would have thunk it?
And
A QB throw.
touchdown passes to Debo, Denise, because that's another knock that I've seen on social media is Trey and Debo don't have the chemistry, and it's like, sure, he played QB against the Texans, and
I'm taking the fifth on this because if I go down the Debo train, I'm going to cuss, and I'm not cussing in front of Ruby.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
I really appreciate it.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'm like this. The lack of quarterback play, that box is checked. We got a better quarterback now. We've added 2 extra running backs to take that load off. We added an extra wide receiver to help with the passing game. Oh, let's not forget, we are loaded at tight end, so we can cut anybody except Kittle right now and still be good. So
please get rid of Ross Dwelly.
You know what's funny? Someone has to beat him out. He has to get beaten out because my understanding of Dwelly and Warner, they both supposedly had big jumps last year from what I'm reading from these analysts. So I'm like, okay, if they had big jumps and then you got Jordan Matthews, who's transitioned from wide receiver to tight end, and then you went out and got Tyler Kroft, who is the most established, well, not accolades-wise, but the more veteran presence in that tight end core. Well, I believe he got Kittle by, 2 years? I mean, he's been around the league for at least 7, 8. What are we doing? We're loaded at that position.
See, the only thing that makes me think they're going to hold on to Ross Dwelly is A, he's signed to another 1-year tender for very little money, and B, he's like George's best friend right now. Like, he's always with him at different games, whether it's the Giants, the Warriors, the whatever. They're always together. So I think that would probably save Ross more than getting rid of him.
But the fact he's only on a 1-year contract means we've got no real commitment to him. If he gets beaten out in training camp, which is quite likely because Ross Dwelly is a walking yellow flag, not as bad as Josh Norman.
Oh, Ross Dwelly on special
every
teams
time
is just a nightmare.
He draws he ends up with a lot of flags on him, and that's the only thing I think. If Warner shows enough over training camp, and the new guy comes in, Kroft, he said, wasn't it? If they show enough, I think you could see Dwelly getting cut.
Hey, Ruby, I found this for you.
Ruby, Melissa's got something for you.
Josh, go.
Thank you very much.
And that is my official pick, the 4th and 2.
That play, Melissa, we were up in Edinburgh for the in-season meet-up, and we'd taken over a sports bar, and there was 4 Packers fans. And when the Saints were winning, they were stood on the chairs, they were all vocal. And when that play happened,
yes,
the whole pub erupted. And then going back to the field goal, Nick, and that Robbie Gold field goal went over. I can't remember seeing the Packers fans after that. I think they made that. But what was epic about that night, Melissa, there was 2 Saints fans over from the States on their honeymoon. They'd reached out to Lee Gowland and said, we're coming over to the UK. Will any of you be around? And we were like, actually, we're going to be in this sports bar. And I think they expected like 2 or 3 of us to turn up. There were like 35 English, Scots, Welsh, Niners fans, and they've become unofficial 49ers fans. So it just shows you the love of the sport. So that game, whenever I see that picture, I'm just transported back to my drunken haze, which Nick wasn't responsible for that one.
No. I wasn't there that time. I can't be blamed.
The best part about the Packers from that year, we beat them twice with 37 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget Mostert's performance in the NFC Championship game.
Oh,
yeah,
that was
my brother doesn't. My brother has hated him so much over the last 3 years that now he doesn't even mention Raheem Mostert. He doesn't even say that the running back exists anymore. Like, that drove him so crazy. He won't even admit that Mostert was a running back for this team.
You know what, Melissa? Next time you guys are having lunch or dinner together as a family, just ask him, can you please pass the mustard? You got to just throw it in there.
All the time.
The best one is when we have mustard cheese, and I'm like, Brian, what does this remind you of? His jaw drops.
That's awesome.
You know what? Melissa, I'm gonna shoot at you real quick. You mentioned special teams. I mean, with
Yes.
all these new additions that we have, even if we kept Dwelly, do you still believe he stays on special teams? I mean, we got Ray McLeod that we went and picked up. Who else did we pick up? That's on special team.
Odom.
Odom.
Talanoa is still doing special teams.
We
have a
got
bunch
lot
of guys,
different...
but Ross is brought in supposedly to block, and he cannot block. So
I mean, you got Odom for that.
Because we had Ayuk, Debo, everybody else and their mother catching the balls last year, which is supposed to be Dwelly's actual strength, but Dwelly is used to block and to make room for guys to return. So I special teams has been a pain in the ass for me for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been a pain in all of our asses, let's be honest. The only time it showed up was against Green Bay.
Yeah,
exactly.
It really has been, but
that was more luck than anything.
Against who?
Hey, Jordan Willis is not luck. Jordan Willis is a beast.
Cheeseheads.
Jordan Willis came to play in Lambeau, and he destroyed Aaron Rodgers and that team.
Oh, yeah. It was magnificent.
The annoyance of Aaron Rodgers fans again. A friend who was a Green Bay fan loves Aaron Rodgers. He kept texting me in the run up to that. He must have blocked me for about a month. I'm not quite sure why. I may have used a few of the Rodgers kicks where his helmet was coming off.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
The best part about that is my brother can throw COVID bowl on my face and week 3 with juice in my face, but he can't ever say anything about 4-0 in the playoffs.
Exactly. And that's where it counts. At the end of the day, we were the ones that advanced on to the next game and not them.
So is everyone picking the George Kittle 4th and 2?
Yeah.
That's my pick.
I didn't want to interrupt nobody, so. So I guess we're all picking 4th and 2. Damn. I just picked you do it now time then. Good. So, oh boy. Another one. I swear I'm thinking of stuff. All right. Who was the best 6th round pick? TJ Jones or Elijah Mitchell? Who was your first one?
Me. I like Elijah Mitchell for me, man.
Yeah, one's on defense, one's on offense.
I don't know. I'm going to take DJ Jones.
We didn't draft DJ, though, did we?
Yes, we did. 2017, right after Kittle. They were the last 2 of the 2017 draft. 5th round and 6th round.
But when did he really start showing up?
DJ Jones had some plays in his first 2 years, but I would say he broke out in 2019. When he was healthy, he had some really good hits on Aaron Rodgers in week 12. And then he was a stalwart during COVID year, and then he had like a monster year last year.
I mean, I get it, I like it, but I'm sticking with Mitchell for the simple fact that he was good enough for us to lose Mostert and not worry.
Yeah.
DJ Jones, I mean, it took him a while to get there. Like you say, he had some flashy plays here and there, but I mean, Eli showed it in his rookie year right off the bat. Faced a lot of injuries though, but
it's a very it's a very running back friendly system though. I mean, we time and time again we've plugged in players drafted late rounds, undrafted free agents.
It's not friendly for Trey Sermon.
Well, no, that was just a bad pick. That was just he didn't fit the system. He doesn't. It was just a dodgy one. I think they were surprised he fell that far, so they took him to stop anyone else from having him.
Yeah, I kind of have to side with Mav. Like Elijah Mitchell was being talked as being a cut last year by like most Niner podcasts. Like they were like, "Oh, this is just a 6th round pick. Maybe at best we start him to the practice squad." And Mostert does what Mostert does best, and he goes down right away. And Elijah Mitchell, no pomp and circumstance, no like great quarterback play or great offensive line play, and he just whenever he was healthy, and if he was healthy enough to play like Kittle, he just balled his ass out. Like I've never like fell in love with a running back faster than I did with Elijah Mitchell.
I agree with Mav. So I pick Mitchell. And Tyler, explain why.
To be fair, Panama
She's so
Queen.
smart.
Oh, thank you.
She is intelligent.
Like that, Mal.
Young lady, you have a very, very, very bright future ahead of you.
Panama Queen says it in the comments there. I do like Jones, but he didn't really hit the ground running. And as much as we're a running back friendly system, I think, like Mav said, we all expected Sermon to be the go-to. The way Mitchell came in last year and kind of hit the ground running, for want of a better word. That's where I'm at. And obviously Ruby says it better than me, so can't argue with that, can I?
I stand corrected.
So you're going with Mitchell or DJ, Nick?
I am going to stick with DJ.
Okay. Denise?
She's still thinking.
Honestly, it's like this is actually, I think this is actually a tougher question. So, originally, I was actually with Nick. I was going to say DJ Jones, but you guys bring up a really valid point that he did not start out strong. Like it took him a while to get going.
But he was also really injured those first couple of years too. Plus, but
that's the point is because is which was a better pick? Which was the better? Isn't that the question? Which was the better pick?
Rookie
DJ Jones, or which was the better rookie pick? DJ Jones or Elijah Mitchell? Well, if that's your art, basically, if it's which is the better rookie pick, then it would be Elijah Mitchell, because Elijah Mitchell actually played his rookie year and really contributed his rookie year, where DJ Jones didn't. Because I was originally going to say DJ Jones, but DJ Jones really didn't contribute his rookie year. It took him a few years to get going. He actually was really good, like towards the end, like you said, the last 2 years, like before he got traded, he was really good. But it took him time to get to that level.
I think a lot of our defensive linemen were like that. Like Buckner and Armstead had to kind of grow into what they became. Like they weren't that like from the get-go.
If you think about it, Buckner, I disagree. I think Buckner was a stud right out the gate.
Because his name was launched right out the gate. He was being talked about.
Yeah, he was a stud right out the gate. Buckner was
Alden Smith, all of them guys.
I'll be honest, dude. Like Buckner, that was someone. I know people say don't get attached to the names, just be a 49er fan. And I'm like, and I was, but boy, let me tell you, I shed a tear, dude. When Buckner left, I loved Buckner. I was sad. I was honestly sad when I heard Buckner got traded. I was all.
I still can't stand to see him in a Colts uniform.
I have guys like this, man. Like Justin Smith, for example. I know who he was, but he wasn't being talked about a lot until Alden Smith got there, and all of a sudden it's the Smith brothers. So there are players on there. I guess around
Mav,
the league
you have me crying. I love the Cowboys.
I'm sorry.
Yo, and you know what the worst part was? My brother actually tried to take over the Smith brothers' name when they got Zadarius and Preston Smith, and I'm like, you gotta be out of your effing mind to try to compare your Smith brothers to Alden and Justin in their heyday.
It's only one Smith duel, and that's Justin and Alden. And even though I was frustrated with Alden Smith for the simple fact that he could not stay out of trouble, so much talent, but you're hurting my organization right now. You are hurting your brothers that you are playing with every Sunday, day in and day out. on the practice field for you just because you're not there. They're counting on your skills to come in. And
I think what pissed me off more was seeing him as a Cowboy. And then he had that big game versus the Seahawks, and then everyone was like, "See, we should have brought back Alden Smith." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not going to work out well." And then I think that was his one good game as a Cowboy.
I mean, he straightened out with the Cowboys though, didn't he not? Because he was having the same problem.
They cut him.
He's been suspended again.
Because I know he was having the same problem with the Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looked like he turned the corner, but then it went to, and then they got rid. He's done.
See, that's what I mean. You got all this talent. I mean, you get talked about before you even put on a NFL uniform, you are being bragged about all across the country. But the only thing they fail to mention is how terrible your attitude is, or how terrible you are at being respectful to your brothers in the organization enough to say, you know what, let me show up when I need to show up, not when I want to.
Yep.
It pains me with having all those skills and being stupid like that.
Yep, I agree 200%.
Yeah, I mean, off the field issue, it's so terrible that I can't even remember exactly what he was getting in trouble for. All I know is that for the first 3 years.
It started off with
5 games.
It started off with baby mama trouble. Then it was a gun possession, and then it was shooting off a loaded weapon at a party to chase the people out of his home. It was a bunch of things all boiled to one, and then the Niners were like, "Dude, you need to get help, and we can't enable you anymore."
Okay, you know what? This right here goes out to all the players in the NFL right now, especially those that came from the hood and who is now seeing millions and millions of dollars. This is a real statement. At some point in time, you have to learn to stop being a gangster and be professional. I'm so serious. It's too many of Plaxico Burress. Why you need a gun?
Yeah, the crazy part was he had a 5-man bodyguard posse with him, and yet he had a gun that he just bought illegally in New York, knowing New York gun laws, brought it over from Jersey, and then shot himself in the foot because he forgot to put the safety on.
Can we go down Marvin Harrison?
I'm sorry, it's not funny. It's just my dad's a Giant fan.
So it's hilarious. It is hilarious. That's hilarious. I mean, it's crazy. You know, you have Ray Lewis, who is a Hall of Famer now, and he was supposed to be the mastermind behind the whole murder.
I'm not going down that road.
Allegedly.
I'm not going down that road.
Allegedly, you know, it is crazy. I mean,
I'm not going down Big Ben or Ray Lewis or any of the criminals that got away with stuff. And no.
Yeah, not tonight.
No.
Okay. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay, but it's just crazy to me, man. It's like you making all this money, you having such a good life, just to be stupid again.
Yeah, but see, the ones that make me upset are the ones like Josh Gordon that got addicted when he was really young and just couldn't shake it no matter what he did.
I believe in second chances, but that was too many chances for Gordon.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, it broke my heart when I heard how young he was when he got hooked on that stuff. What was it, 9 years old or 13 or something? That's kind of crazy that he was doing it for that long.
When you think, Melissa, Ruby's 9, she was going to come on for 5 minutes, and you've made her feel so welcome. She wanted to stay. I didn't know that. And Mav, you're totally right. Me and Nick are sat here, UK. We don't have guns over here. Anyone from the UK getting into the NFL is like 1 in a zillion chance, and to get that chance and then throw it away because you've been stupid. And the stuff you're talking about with Smith was stupid stuff. But yeah, I'm like Melissa. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with the other stuff. But
no. I mean, I could just imagine how you guys would feel to have your very first UK player that's playing in the NFL and go down a rabbit hole I mean, I could just imagine, dude, you are representing a whole country. You're not just representing a city or where you're from. You are representing a whole country by being the first and only. And
we've had a few.
Isn't the guy from the Browns from the UK? The Scott?
Well, no, I was just
That's
saying
the Bengals.
hypothetically, you know.
I know one of the kickers for the Bengals and the Browns is from the UK, I believe.
Wait, did we not get a rugby player from the UK?
Yeah, he was on the Bills, but I think he's been quite. I mean,
I think our rugby player was from Australia.
Yeah, the 49ers from. I mean, all aside, Mav, Nick won't be being responsible when he's in the States. And I wouldn't expect him to be being responsible. I'm fully expecting Nick to live life to the max. I can't wait to see it on social media.
But see, Nick is under the radar, though. He's not a high-profile guy just yet. You know what I mean? So he can get away with that.
We've got a few months to get him there, Mav. We've got him a few months to get there. That's the challenge.
Wait, hold on. Is she talking about Alden Smith in jail right now? Is that who she's talking about?
She's not talking about Nick because he's sat right up there.
I know Plaxico was making an example by the New York City mayor for a really long time.
Yeah, he did. And that airport situation she's talking about, was that the bottle with the little stuff in it? Was that what it was?
No, that was when he was claiming he had an explosive device.
Yeah, crap. Okay.
Dude, and that was not long after, obviously, what had happened with 9/11. Like, dude, you can't say stuff like that in an airport anymore. You just can't.
Yeah, right? Duh.
I mean, after stuff like that, man, it's just I thought we did have a rugby player on the Niners, or was he?
Did.
Yeah, it was from Australia.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Jared Hayne. He was rugby league, rugby union, Australian international. He'd obviously played under us for 2 years, 2 different head coaches, 2 different playbooks, and then he couldn't stand to then go on a third when we actually took on Carl Shanahan as coach. He didn't want to learn.
I'm sorry, Nick. I think I understand now. She's talking about the rugby player being in jail.
Yeah, he is.
Denise, what were you trying to say?
I said, where's Wisnowski from? Isn't he from? Yeah. I can't remember what game it was, but remember when they were trying to flag him for roughing someone, and Kyle Shanahan was like, no.
I don't remember that play.
I do.
I can't remember who we were playing, but it was awesome. It was phenomenal. He knocked someone.
That sounded like a divisional game.
It was a great.
That sounded like a divisional game.
It was.
Mitch Witch had a stiff arm and a tackle that would put others to shame.
Right? I can't remember what game it was though, but he like knocked someone out, and it was awesome. And the refs were trying to call him for excessive rough. I don't know. I can't remember, but Kyle was like on the kicker. I was like, it was awesome.
It sounded like a divisional game. It couldn't be a Denver game. That don't sound like something we would really play hard for, to where our kicker would lay a tackle or somebody.
Panama says she thinks it was Denver. It was awesome.
I don't see that game. I
think the only 2 Denver games. I don't think it was the one where Kittle almost broke Shannon's record, and I don't think it was the preseason game either.
I'm not sure. Wrong. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember what game it was. I just remember that. It was
I remember the hit. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I was like, "Yep, that's."
She is like a cop. She is like a little copycat of her dad over there. Like, seriously, I'm loving it.
Ryan, you picking one?
I am loving it.
Ryan, picking DJ or Elijah?
Elijah. They expected him to be like Mostert, but he runs like Gore. He reminds me of Gore, the way he runs. He has
the Jeff Wilson Jr. no fear mentality that I absolutely adore.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you are putting Elijah Mitchell up there with Frank Gore right now.
Yeah, he has that beast. He has that beast stuff, man.
I understand that, but any 49er running back right now you compare to Frank Gore, that's a big load on them, bro.
I don't
And I
compare.
don't see us having.
I don't compare people to legends. I don't think that's fair on them at all.
I see. It reminds me of
First
it.
off,
It is him.
First off, how long has Frank Gore been a 49er? Go ahead.
I believe it was 10 years.
No, I thought 16.
10 years, I think. It was a 16-year career
Name
and 10
another
years with the Niners.
Name another 49er running back that has last 5+ years since Frank Gore in a 49er uniform.
And now Mostert was here in 17. He left this year. That's like the closest, but he's been injured for most of that career. He only had one healthy year. I don't want to mention.
Can't go off for 1 year.
I don't want to mention the guy that left us and went to the Seahawks. And
You having a hard time, aren't you?
no, I'm really trying not to say. No, I'm really trying not to mention that freaking running back that went to the Seahawks and was big pain in the ass all over Twitter.
Cause Hyde.
Thank you, Ryan. I was avoiding that on purpose.
Well done, Ryan.
Well done.
I know who she was talking about.
Okay, can we move on to the next question, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have said Gore. Maybe I should say like
yeah.
Hyde. Cause Hyde.
No, hell.
No, calling him.
He's better than Hyde. He's way better than Hyde. Thank you, Panama. I agree with Panama. He stank, bro.
The only thing with Ryan mentioning Hyde, I do remember his touchdown against the Vikings on the Monday night when he did that lovely turn and ran into the corner when we had the black uniforms on.
I remember
that is not a bad memory for him to have, but other than that, he was terrible.
Go to the right, you spin around to the left.
That's an Ohio State trash.
Did you see that they?
See, that's
did
what
you
I mean.
see, Matt? Did you see that they copyrighted the word "the" now?
What?
Ohio State?
No.
Yeah, they have a copyright on the word "the" now. It's their word now.
Yeah, like the Ohio State.
Yeah.
I believe it's something because the Miami University said used to do the same thing. The U.
Yep.
I mean they stayed the U, but now it's the. That's crazy.
Okay.
Like college that has all that money to do whatever they want to do, pay these coaches more than the NFL is paying them, and yet these players, I mean, they can't even get a free meal or from anybody. You can't even take them nowhere. Oh, okay, that's what's up, Panama. You already know I'm an FSU fan too, all day, every day. You seen the background. You seen the background.
I don't think I've ever heard your voice go quite that high.
I got excited.
Okay.
Okay. Now, next one. Does George Kittle finally get a touchdown on National Tight End Day? What was more impressive, 51-13 or 33-6?
We're talking about the two.
Yeah.
We're talking about the two wins on National Tight Ends Day so far. The Panthers game, which was 51-13, and we're talking about going to Foxborough and giving Belichick the worst loss in his career at Foxborough, which was 33-6 the following year in 2020.
I'm taking that one.
Okay.
It showed who was the more superior coach at that point.
Denise, which was the more impressive National Tight Ends Day performance win? And do you think George Kittle finally gets to score a touchdown on National Tight Ends Day?
Hold on real quick, Denise, before you answer that question. Now, the Patriots game, that was the Brady game or no? Brady was.
No, that was the Cam Newton got benched because he was playing so awful.
Okay.
I do like the Patriots game just because it's Kyle against Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about who the QBs are. Because I'm a Shanna stan big time.
It would have been more impressive had it been Brady. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. And you know what? Let me be very clear. I know everybody loves Tom Brady. Denise Granger cannot stand Tom Brady. I cannot wait.
Well, she won't get along with Mikey or Ron. I mean, not Mikey. What's called?
I told you she doesn't hold her punches, and I love it.
DJ and Ron.
Oh man, Denise, you have to come on Red and Go and meet the rest of the show. You have to.
Okay, so
I cannot stand Tom Brady.
Matt and Denise, do you think that George actually gets a touchdown though?
Yes,
this year.
I am hoping. Yes, I'm going to say yes. Yes,
I'm going with 2 on that game.
Ooh, that's cool. All right, Club 85, Ruby and Paul. Do you think that George Kittle gets his first touchdown on his holiday, National Tight Ends Day?
I think yes. Actually, yes.
Okay, and what do you think was the more impressive game, the Panthers game or the Patriots game the following year?
The Panthers game, that's the bobblehead that was given away.
I remember.
For me, that game has special significance because 12 of my really good friends were at that game. They were on a stag do in Vegas and they flew over. 3 of them became Niners fans because of that game. 2 of them fell in love with Nick Bosa because of that game. And not one of them, brought me the bobblehead back. 12 of them went, and I still had to pay $50 on eBay to get that bad boy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Equally,
you're like, what kind of friends are these?
Well, a lot of alcohol was involved, Denise, because it was a stag do, I believe. So not one of them brought it back. But I mean, I was sat at home watching.
You know, it always makes me sad. I always see the games where they're like cleaning out and like everyone's throwing out the rally towels, and like I would just kill for a rally towel, just one of them. Like, just something.
I'm just gonna make my own.
That
makes it easier. You know what, Paul? I have a new name for you now, Paul. You are officially known as Paul the Niner Converter. Yes, sir. That's your title.
That game, though, was even more special because it was the McCoy one where he did the whole, we want the smoke, the 49ers are nothing, and we absolutely smashed them. So I saw that hype because I've got a friend who's a Panthers fan and he shared the hype in the huddle when McCoy was doing the whole, we've come to Levi's, we're going to boss you. And it was like 55-10. So, and to answer your question,
51-13.
2 touchdowns on National Tight End Day, like Money Mav. I like that Money Mav.
Check this out, though. I'm gonna give you a longer prediction on National Tight End Day.
Mm-hmm.
For me, these are the tight ends that's going to score.
Mm-hmm.
George Kittle, of course, is going to lead with 2 touchdowns, and I seriously believe Tyler Crawford is going to sneak up in there for a touchdown. That's all we're going to be doing is passing that whole game.
Well,
Darren Waller.
To think about it, though, the 2 wins that we had, they were both dominated by our running backs. It was the Tevin Coleman game, the first game, and then Jeff Wilson Jr. had like the game of his life for the Patriots.
Yeah, but think about it, though. All you had as running game was running back. So there was really no threat in the backfield. I mean, as far as like other teams just not being able to stop the run. Those games that we played, they just couldn't stop the run. But when you talk about Trey Lance, who has wheels and can get out the pocket and get yards with his legs.
That's gonna be so much fun.
Exactly. Now you have Elijah Mitchell, possibly Terrion David Price, and Jordan Mason. Come on. I mean, that's a threat in the backfield alone. And then you got a Deebo Samuel who's talking about, I'm not going to play wide back and everything, but you're going to see him shifting motion all over the field. You don't know if he's going to get the ball on a jet sweep. So I really
and you forget like Jawan Jennings is finally broken out, and so has Ayuk.
There you go. And then even if he's not a threat with his hands just yet, like we want him to be, Danny Gray can stretch the field. He can take guys with him. So with all those pieces that you have surrounded Trey Lance with, including Trey Lance himself into the mix, I just don't see how Kittle and Croft would not both get in the end zone on the same day on National Tight End Day.
Okay, Nick. Same question to you. Does George get a touchdown finally on his holiday? And what was the more impressive National Tight Ends Day victory? Panthers or Patriots?
I mean, going into the Patriots is always going to be a tough game, but smashing the Panthers was awesome. Nobody was backing us. You looked at all the pregame stuff all across all the networks. They were all saying Panthers win, and we destroyed them. Like we pooped all over their plan. They had nothing. That was something else. It was phenomenal. But I don't think George gets one on National Tight End Day. I think that run I think it continues because George will happily.
You get booed by both Ruby and Paul.
Yeah, but what are you going to? George loves the run game. George loves pancaking players as much as he loves doing.
Yeah, but you forget that he didn't get to play this year. He was injured this year. He missed this year's past National Tight Ends Day. That was a loss. Like, I honestly believe that he is going to fight his butt off to get at least a touchdown on his holiday.
Yeah, he needs to get at least one. Oh, and again, let's all keep in mind, hello, it's Trey area time. We're throwing the ball.
I'm gonna have to go and pick the Panthers game solely because I love George Kittle going up for that big ball that Katie let go right past his head, and George was right there in the middle, like four defenders, and he has that ball and he's up in the air, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I honestly agree. The Panthers win was so cool, but it's like I said, I love that it was Kyle.
Oh,
Kyle.
No. I completely respect your stance. And maybe if certain other people didn't have such a big game in Foxborough, I might not pick the Panthers game, but because it was more 44 dominant, I by default I can't pick the Patriots game.
The Chiefs on National Tight End Day.
Now, Nicholas. We have.
You don't know what's in.
We are playing a defenseless team on National Tight End Day. They have no defense. You still say no touchdown for Kittle?
We'll see.
Oh, I mean, Go ahead, Nick. I apologize. Go ahead. Sorry.
No way he doesn't get at least one versus Kelsey. There's no way.
That's what I was gonna say.
No way.
That's even better. Now you got the number 1 and number 2 tight end going against each other on National Tight End Day. You know both of them are going to score. But who does it better?
Well, we already know who's going to win mic'd up because our tight end can do laps around Kelsey when he has the mic.
That's true. You know what, though? Everybody on National Tight End Day, I'm looking at Kelsey, Kittle. I'm even throwing Crawford in the mix, Waller. But don't be
DJ
surprised
Hawkinson
if Justin
is going to have a day.
Nah, see, I was going to say Justin Herbert and Cook is going to have a day.
I think Club 85's best moment has just been converting Mav to a George Kittle fan. And I think that's speechless. Nick was about to answer Mav, and I think he's like me. He's like, is he praising 85? I mean, I may be wrong. Nick may have something else to add, but he definitely looked like he was lost for words.
Listen, I've always loved Kittle. You know, like I said, I'm gonna say the same thing like I said about Alden Smith. I loved him too until his attitude showed me otherwise. You know, at that point, I just felt like Kittle did not want to be with Trey at that point, you know, and that's why I said he deserved an Oscar because the man is an actor. You know, he made me believe he was not backing that man. All of a sudden,
Mav, this is a man that is hanging out with Nate Sudfeld at Warriors games, okay? This guy loves every effing quarterback that touches this team.
He really does. But you know, it's the whole I guess it was the whole thing with the Jimmy and Trey. Every time he was asked a question, he's got to back up. And I understood that, but I'm like, dude, everybody else is just openly talking about this.
Yeah, but you also forget, like, this is a time where every network was taking pot shots at his quarterback. Like,
that's true.
George was like the mouthpiece used by the Niners to try to validate their choice in Jimmy.
I mean, I was ready for his quarterback to be out of there, and I'm still waiting for him to be out of there. So I was taking shots at his quarterback too, but I love him. Like, dude, if you're gonna support your quarterback, you might as well pack your bag and go with your quarterback. That's all I'm saying. Because I want my team to win. You know what? I'm gonna channel my inner Mike Singletary. I want winners. That's my favorite quote. I want winners.
So, Nick, you're sticking by your no touchdowns?
I'm going to stick with it. George appreciates the full game, not just the glory. He's not in it for that.
Coming from a member of Club 85.
I'm not knocking him.
Being so modest.
I didn't say you were. I just said coming from a member of Club 85. It's going to be interesting.
We know Nick's not critiquing. Don't worry. Nick's not getting revoked, is he? Do not be going down that route.
Ruby, you should make a bet with Nick. You should make a friendly bet with Nick. What should he do if George Kittle scores a touchdown? Just think about it. Take your time. Think about it.
Don't worry, Nick. I will make sure it's not a hard. We like Nick, Mav. Nick is a family friend. Remember that.
Hey, Paul, I wanted to share something real with you. All right, your daughter, since your daughter's there with you, so. It's all on there. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to share it to you guys. Here you go.
Aww. That's what's up.
And, hey, Nick, just hold on for a minute. I know you got to go. I want you to do your, hopefully we're going to do the memory thing now, okay? That way you guys can do all your memories and you guys can go, okay? So Nick can go first, bud, if you want. The worst and best that you can think of.
Which is in general? Well,
yeah, in general. For the 49ers. Just for the 49ers.
I think the best moment ever was the first time I got off the train and saw Levi's. Okay. That meant the world to me. That year I'd been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I'd had a pretty shocking year by all accounts. But yeah, that made it all better. That made it worth it. That's easily the best. The worst, I mean, recent memory, the Chiefs loss. I'm still not over it. Still, years later, I'm still not over losing that game.
I'm still not over the Kaepernick loss.
Yeah, I don't think you ever get over a Super Bowl loss, do you? I mean, that the Kaepernick loss, that made me I was already a 49ers fan, but that loss made me a faithful.
That's what's up.
And your best, you did your best, right? I ain't ready to hear him. Sorry. I got you. All right, you can go up next if you want to, bud.
That's it. I'm going to head, guys. It's been a long old day.
No problem.
I need to rest these old bones. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you next week, bud. Love you, Nick.
See you soon, guys.
Love you,
Say
man.
hi, guys. Bye.
Bye.
I guess you want to do ladies first? I know Mav did his, but he could do it again if he wants. Ladies first.
Denise,
Melissa. Doesn't really matter who goes. Worst the best.
I would say my worst is definitely the Chiefs loss. Horrible. It's like Nick Bosa getting held, Jimmy doing pirouettes in the, missing the throw and just, suckage. Yeah. Worst memory. And my best memory was the 1989 Super Bowl with Jerry Rice and Jerry Rice winning MVP. That was my best memory.
Was that the Chargers or the Browns? I mean, the Bengals. That was Chargers, right?
It was the Bengals.
It was Bengals.
The Bengals.
Yeah, I remember that one too myself. Damn, girl, you think way back there, way back, 8 and 9, I like that.
Yeah,
I was 11 years
that's
old.
my. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Panama,
my
if you still watching, you might as well go ahead and put your memories in there too. Now,
Yeah,
we want to
yeah,
see.
Panama.
We
want
want
to
to
Okay.
know.
there too. Worst and
Miss
best.
Ruby, what are your best and worst memories?
My best memory is the Vikings. Care to explain, Dad?
So, like we said earlier, me and Ruby's mum are not together. And during the Super Bowl run, I was a single parent living on my own.
Mhm.
And I actually wanted the Saturday night game because it meant Ruby could still come watch it. And when we ran that first touchdown in, I think it was like on the first drive, me and Ruby were like leaping around our front room going absolutely crazy. So that game holds a special memory for us.
And our worst memory is when the 49ers lose. Care to explain again?
Yeah, I don't take it when we lose very well. The girls know I'm maybe a bear with a sore head. I mean, touching what Nick said, Ryan, in 2012, I was a bit of a casual fan and I fell in love with the NFL due to Kaepernick. And we went to the Super Bowl that year and I bought my first ever NFL cap for £5, which is quite cheap over here. And after we'd lost against the Ravens, the next day I was walking to town to go to work and some Ravens fans started like heckling me. And I felt like really angry and I had to defend. And I thought from that moment on, this is my team. If I'm arguing in the street with total strangers about a game that I didn't know nothing about 6 months earlier, but the Kaepernick game stung for me because of the way we came back. I did think we were going to win that Super Bowl. I think best memory for me is probably beating the Packers because I have a mate who loves Aaron Rodgers. So when we beat them in that NFC Championship game, I enjoyed that one big time.
Denise? I mean, I knew you went first. I'm sorry. Melissa? Sorry. Nice to have two girls on here. Sorry. Nice to it.
My favorite memory is probably the only memory that my family actually backed up the Niners. So that would be the overtime win versus the Saints back with Alex Smith. I was in Florida celebrating my former best friend's birthday. He brought me along with him to Disney World. So while I was at Epcot and I was watching the fireworks and we were enjoying our last few days there down in Disney. And it was funny because that was like the crazy year where you guys were like in the 70s up here in New Jersey and I was like in the low 60s freezing my butt off down there. I go back to the hotel room and there's like a bunch of voice messages with my dad, my mother, my brother all screaming on top of each other like, they won in overtime. It's like the one memory I have of my entire family like rooting for my team, and I just happen to be all the way on the opposite side of the East Coast away from them. And I remember rushing home, and the first thing I did before I unpacked, before I did anything, I went onto my iTunes account and I bought the game. And to this day, it's one of my most favorite memories. Not just because Alex Smith and all of those players I loved from the Harbaugh days got their first playoff win, but because of the sentimental side of that voicemail.
I do remember that too. Was that the VD catch? Vern Davis catch? It wasn't T.O. because T.O. was from Steve Young. And I know Alex Smith went through to VD.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
That was the catch 3, I believe.
Yep.
And then my least favorite memory, I could go with so many. But I am going to go with back-to-back playoff losses due to one, Greg Roman and Michael Crabtree and the damn-ass fade that I hated for at least a good decade and a half. That both games came down to the fade over and over again in both the Super Bowl and the championship game, and everything that cost us with Bowman and his injury. That was my absolute worst memory.
Hey, Mav, Did you want to put yours out again? I knew you did yours on Thursday.
I mean, mine is very simple. It's the Harbaugh, for the simple fact that that was the first Super Bowl that I actually understood the game to a full capacity. You know, I mean, 94 was cool, but I was only 10 years old. I didn't really know what I was watching, nonetheless knew what I was playing. So, yeah, I mean, to witness my team for the first time while I'm still alive in the Super Bowl, the way we came back only to lose it, I mean, that's painful. I mean, that's the best and worst memory all in one. Like you said, it's too many to like really name. I mean, I could go all over the board, but that right there, it takes the cake.
I literally I could not listen to anyone say the fade word for a good 5+ years without wanting to punch something.
Listen, it's so terrible for me that I have not even watched it again. I'm like probably in the 2-3% of people.
And the crazy part is I want to because I miss that front seven. I miss Justin Smith. I miss Ahmad Brooks. I miss Navarro Bowman. I miss Patrick Willis. I miss Apati and so many people. Hittner, Sean Goldson. I adored that defense. And I cannot stomach the idea of watching that championship game or that Super Bowl.
See, the Chiefs game, Mav, as much as obviously losing the Super Bowl is devastating. I was up in the 49er for UK meetup, so the actual night was really good. I was with like 50 49er fans and we'd had drinks. And obviously losing isn't great, but the Ravens game, like you said, because it was my first Super Bowl, and Nick touched upon it before. One of the reasons I love our team is our community. Jumping on here with you guys, you know, some of my memories. Melissa showed us the Saints game earlier, and I was immediately transported back to Edinburgh. Last year, I met Nick in person for the first time because of COVID. On the train down, I was like, I'm not going to drink. And then I walk into the bar, and Nick's like, there's a pint. And I was absolutely mortal drunk. We did like a Facebook Live on NFL for UK at halftime. Can't remember any of it. Sat here with Ruby now, the Vikings playoff game, all those memories, and we do shows like this, and you know we have the ups and downs, but ultimately we just love this team, and it's just amazing. Like coming on here and spending what we didn't even have anything to talk about. We hit 90 minutes to talk about.
Hey Rubes, what was your worst and best memory being a 49er fan when you're growing up?
She mentioned the Vikings game.
Oh, she did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry. My bad. So, me, I know I said mine on Thursday, and I'll tell you right now, my best one, and I was there. I was there watching on TV. The catch, first one. I was 4 years old. And when he did that boot around, and the Cowboys were trying to get him, he threw that ball like I told the guys. I didn't know he caught it. I did not know he caught it until he came down and spiked it. When he spiked that ball, I was surprised. I couldn't believe it. The whole place went ballistic. It did. And I couldn't believe it. And the worst one was definitely the Super Bowl losses and plus the coaches and GMs we had to go through to get where we're going.
Oh, God. Amen. You know what? I didn't even think of that. But, yeah, Jim Tomsula and Chip Kelly, God, make me, ugh. Those were horrible.
Like Melissa said, there's too many worst memories to name. So I mean, you could pick anyone from the era.
Well, we talked about the Monday night game against the Rams when Hoyer the Destroyer, who's Coach Ron's favoured quarterback, which I didn't know, and it was prime time over here, so it was like 1:30 in the morning start, and Hoyer threw a pick six in the first 7 seconds, and I thought, I might as well just go back to bed now, Denise, because we're not winning this game.
You had to bring up 0-9 and have your beautiful daughter there, so I can't lose my temper.
Well, she was only going to come on for 5 minutes, but you've all made her feel so welcome, and now she's done the Breezy show. She's going to be able to go to school on Wednesday, but she's off for the next 2 days for her sports day and be like, I am a YouTube star. I've done Wayne Breezy. I've been on with Money Mav, been on with Denise. And to be fair, before we hand over, Ryan video called me on Friday because I was having a few problems with my setup, and we were watching your show on Thursday night, Mav. And Ruby was like, "Oh, hi, Ryan." And Ryan's like, "How do you know my name?" And she was like, "You're on the telly. We're watching you."
Yeah, I called him Messenger, and I talked to her. Yeah. Hey, you know,
Well, Ruby, you are now officially a podcaster. Welcome to the world.
Congratulations, girl. Congratulations. Very proud to have you on here.
You know what? You and your dad should have a podcast together. I think I would watch it. That would be great.
That would be wonderful.
That would be very wonderful, and we were asking lots of questions about the 49ers.
Oh, see, there you go. Since you want to keep it sports, okay, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that.
Yeah, I actually love your new setup, man. I like your setup there, Paul. Love your setup, man. This pump, that's right. Yeah, I love your new setup, man. So it sounds real better. It sounds good. I love it. And you guys got any final thoughts?
No, I was just gonna tell Ruby here that my 13-year-old is actually in the process of becoming a streamer.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of different ways you can go out here online. So I think you and your dad will be. I really believe that you guys would go on another level here.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it, guys. I really would. I hope you guys do it. That'd be great.
I mean, think about it. Think about how many people would watch it. A 9-year-old talking football and knows exactly what she's saying.
Yeah, that's cool. It's absolutely cool. And it would be new too. It'd be new and exciting because nobody does that. Like no one has a show with their daughter. Like that'd be super cool.
Well, thank you. My final thoughts were going to be really appreciated because I don't mind saying that Ruby is autistic. She knows what that means. So she loves YouTube. So to be honest, it was part of the reason why I decided to do shows like this. Shank Club gave me my first opportunity. I was a bit nervous. Ryan's took a chance on me. And tonight, when my other half's gone out, Ruby was like, "Can I come on for 5 minutes?" I thought she might not talk. She's my daughter. Of course she was going to talk. But I just want to say thank you for obviously making us feel so welcome. And
you don't have to thank us. You don't have to thank me, man. Don't worry about it.
I do follow you on social media. It's been nice to obviously do a show together. And obviously it's great.
It was nice meeting you guys. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Denise. You're welcome to come back to it anytime you want. All right.
Thank you. It was nice meeting everybody. I enjoyed talking with all of you. It was great. I appreciate the invite. Thank you guys so much.
No problem. Got you.
Anytime
you want. Okay, let me see here.
You got something else for us, Ryan?
Not really. You guys can hop off if you want to. Go ahead. I got nothing else. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes long. So.
Bye, Miss Ruby.
Before you jump off, Ryan, Melissa, you did surprise me when I was watching the locker room rant back, and I had zero idea. And then John V put a comment up, and Melissa had said, "Get Paul Hope on the show." So I was really like, I am going to try and get on, but the time difference is a bit. But I did appreciate the love, Melissa. So thank you for that.
Just don't let Ruby anywhere near that particular Nick.
I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, man.
Right. We're not allowed to speak poorly, so we need to keep it.
I'm not speaking poorly. I'm just saying I really like Paul and his daughter, and I would not wish to inflict that particular Nick on certain people. He is a Browns fan who likes riling up Niner fans, and he does not care how he does it, and it can really turn off a lot of people.
Well, and we can't forget Nick's famous dance either. That's, you know.
Oh, please, no. Dude, you do not understand. It got so bad the other week that he tried doing the Macarena, and it was like a spazzy, like, I'm high Macarena, and they actually got flagged on YouTube because of it.
I missed that one. I missed that show.
It was banned in the UK. I went to watch it Denise on the Friday, and I sent John V a message and was like, "It won't let me watch it on YouTube in the UK." And he was like, "Yeah, there's been a problem with copyright." So you're right, Melissa. John V, he's allowed to be around Ruby. The other two, maybe Tony's all right, I suppose.
Tony is fine when he doesn't have Nick. Nick brings out like the worst in Tony, and I love all three of them.
So funny.
I mean, Nick right now not so much because he did some things talking about Deshaun Watson that really got me, and I'm not okay with it. But
that is too much.
I watch it because John is really one of the sweetest people you will ever meet, and he's funny. And I still to this day think that was one of the funniest reactions ever when he's jumping in his chair when Trey Lance was picked on Carl's 2 Feet Inbound show. No, we're talking about Nick Cletus. He is a Browns fan. This is a whole other. There's so many Nicks and Mikes and everything. Like, unless you know who you're talking about, like you'll mix them all together.
What's up?
What up, Drew?
Late to the party, man. I'm super late to the party.
Just in time.
Hey, listen, you might be late, but you got here just in time to meet Ruby.
Hello.
The new podcaster, man.
Oh,
real.
that is what's going on. Listen, I love it.
She is the queen of Club 85.
Yeah, there you go.
Welcome.
She and her daddy finna start their own podcast too, boy. Hey, we gotta support
like that. Go for it, Paul. Go for it. You listen, man. They gonna look. She gonna steal the shine, man. We ain't gonna get no views. We ain't getting no views. This is horrible.
What you mean? We gonna get views because we'll be on their podcast, bro. So we'll be okay.
Exactly. There you go. See,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we end up. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter where we started. It all matters where we end up at. That's all. It's okay
because when mine goes,
right?
We're gonna get views because me and her gonna talk about Kiss Bop, and we're gonna get some views on.
Who? She talking 49ers football. What you talking?
Look.
We have to shoot off, guys. Because it's getting a bit
Not a problem, guys. Thanks for coming, guys.
Ruby, thanks for bringing up the Vikings game.
To meet you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet
Very
you.
welcome. Love you guys.
See you next time, Ruby.
Yeah, bud. Yeah, girl.
You know what the best part about that Vikings game was? That all our defensive linemen had a sack in that game.
Right.
Oh, I came in talking about our defense. I love it. What we talking about? Which game we talking about?
The divisional round in 2019 against the Vikings.
I love it. we gotta think. That's something we have always had.
Solomon Thomas, Steve Ford, Buckner, Armstead, Bosa. I think even DJ Jones had a big sack.
We had the line. I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, I knew they was back there sacking, but I just ain't noticed that all of them got a sack.
Look,
I thought
listen.
I'm about to tell you.
Listen to the mic'd up with I believe
Francisco was born. I promise you. I believe
it was George Kittle and I think it was Buckner. I can't remember, but it was 2 people for each of those 2 games that were mic'd up.
Okay.
And of course, that was Jimmy's highlight of his entire playoff career, which was the Anthony Barr pancake. Yeah, I went there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Drewski.
Oh, man.
You hear me?
Yo.
Since you weren't on there, do you want to get your worst and best when I memory?
My worst and best memories?
Yep, as a 49er fan.
As a 49er fan, it was, I can say my best is always going to be the Packers game when we had Cap, and Cap took over that whole game, and it was just funny watching it because, man, I cracked up. That man ran wild on him. And then when they thought they had him, he would throw it. We made them look, I'm telling you, we've been their fathers for so long, it's embarrassing. Because then I can go and then I can count a couple more years and watch how Raheem did them in too. And it was like, dang, we still own y'all like this? They have not figured us out any of these years. And I'm like, so I put it like that. That's always my best memory, was watching us kill the Packers because They every time they're like so high and everything coming into the playoffs. Packers and Aaron Rodgers, and then they see us and
Thank you.
They're like, man, here come our dad again, about to give us a whoop. And then it was like so funny this year because they had it. They had this game and loved it. And then boom, block field goal. I said, oh, y'all got a whooping again. Boy, daddy then came back and got y'all.
Yo, truth. One of the most underrated memories versus the Packers, though, was Cam Akers to start off the 2013 season, and it was that doink on the crossbar that went right through.
Man,
like 63 yards.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's always something to see because it's like every time they're like, "Well, the Packers should win this one," and that's what I hear before every game, and it's like, I love it because
I don't know what's more overrated, that the Packers should win because Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of the football, or his stupid sob story about how he was promised to be the first overall pick and how he was dissed by the Niners.
Listen,
okay, you know what? I got a question. I got a question.
We didn't want you.
I got a question for y'all. I got a question for you, Drew and Melissa. Now, since we talking about whose daddy is whose and who owned who, would you take the Niners over the Packers any day of the week? I mean,
yes.
Don't say it just because you're a fan. Don't say it just because you're a fan. Wait
Listen,
for the next
hold
one.
on. I would take Niners over the Packers even if we had Tim Rattay still. I would take Niners over the Packers with Drunken Miller. I would take Niners over the Packers with Garcia as the quarterback.
Okay.
Hold on. And as the running back, we can use what was his name? I'm not gonna say Garrison Hurst. I'm not gonna do.
You'll take the Niners with Kamadi. Kamazi, whatever his name is.
I take the Niners with him and the wide receivers to be, what's the dude's name? I can't remember. He was like number 14 back in about 2002. He was the one that, I can't remember his name, but he was a big bust. Like we got him and everybody was so excited, and it was like 2002, 2003.
You talking about with Steve Mariucci?
Yeah.
The quarterback, Gio Kamazi. That's
who I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about the wide receiver we had, and he came out to be a bust. And everybody was so proud. He was a slim type. I can't hold on. I'm about to tell you in 2 seconds. Because man.
I guess the question I should have asked was which is the most disrespectful moment of daddy's owning who? The Niners against the Packers or Eli against the Pats?
Well, my father's a Giant fan, so I'm gonna get in trouble for this answer no matter how I answer it.
Look, Denise looking like I know that one.
For me personally, I will always pick the Packers and Niners because me and my brother hate each other, and it is always like a big deal when our two teams face each other. And now that my brother is like at the point where he's so scarred by Raheem Mostert that he won't even admit that Raheem Mostert was the player that actually destroyed his team in the championship game.
Destroyed ain't a word. That can we go further than that?
Does he cry though? Does your brother shed a tear every time the Packers lose to the Niners?
No. You know what he does, and it's pathetic. He brings up COVID Bowl, where all our players were stuck on the sidelines because they had that false positive. He brings up week 3 where Juice was being quarterback sneaked like 3 times in a row. He brings up like all the most pathetic losses in the world during the regular season. He never brings up the postseason, and he always rubs in my face that the Packers won the championship in 2010, and I constantly have to remind him that the only person that he could ever beat in the championship game just happened to be Jay Cutler and his backup, who had to take over after the second half. Like that's the only team in all of history that the great Packers could beat in the championship game. So it gets really dirty between the two of us. But as someone who lives in New Jersey and lived through the Eli Manning craze and Victor Cruz and Strahan and Tiki Barber being the scapegoat, before the 2007 Super Bowl. There was nothing like the David Tyree catch and beating the perfect season and shutting the hell up out of Randy Moss and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And like Tom Brady was like on that charity podcast, I think like a year ago, and he said he would give him like 3 of his rings just to have his perfect season where he had the Super Bowl on top of the 18 wins. So as much as I love the Niners and as much as I love going up against my brother, Eli not winning once but twice versus the Patriots.
Listen, man, I'm telling you,
always
Brady had a Manning problem. Brady had a real Manning problem. It was like bad.
Yeah,
Brady has an ego problem. Brady has the ego problem. I cannot stand that man. I wish he would literally fall off the planet. If there is an end,
hey, where's Mike when you need it? Because boy, Mike
can he please just walk off into the planet? I cannot stand him. When he retired, I literally threw a fucking heart. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about
She's
that.
Gone.
I'm sorry.
She's gone.
She's gone. You can cuss now.
Go, Denise. Go.
Let it fly.
Let it go.
I told you she will forget.
I cannot stand him. I cannot stand him. When he retired, I was so happy. It was like, oh my God, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I got so much crap from 49er fans because they're like, oh, I can't believe you don't want Tom Brady to come play with us. Kyle Shanahan was so stupid because Tom Brady was, we should have got Tom Brady, blah, blah, blah. We could have won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. I'm like, by the way, does everyone realize that it takes a whole team to win a Super Bowl? Not just one.
I said that yesterday.
I said Tom Brady did not win those rings by himself. Can everyone get off Tom Brady's jock?
First of all, we was about to get a 45-year-old Tom Brady.
Vinatieri won those first couple championships for them. Like, let's be honest. Yeah. And the freaking tuck rule saved his freaking career because even after it was finally abolished,
and deflated,
that douche tried to do the freaking tuck rule for like 3 more games after that. And to this day, he only admitted once that he didn't think that it was freaking a forward pass.
Anybody who can't stand him, wasn't it the greatest moment in history when he stood up and put up 4 fingers? Like, oh my God!
Yes!
Make
yes,
like,
the Bears game.
4 fingers, like, oh, you're the quarterback, you stupid dumbass. Shouldn't you know this?
That was one of my favorite trolling moments.
Denise, you're definitely coming on our show.
I told you, Ryan. I told you she was like this. Okay, but seriously, there was no better trolling moment than seeing everyone destroy him. And then you remember it was the Tom Brady always had gone up to his opponents that year because that's the year that he ended up winning the Super Bowl. And you remember everybody he gave like a handshake to or a hug, even though it was COVID. And that was the game that he lost to Nick Foles for the second time in his career. And he ran off that field so fast that he gave like a freaking dirt trail behind him because he was like, I'm not going to congratulate this guy again.
That's one of the reasons I cannot stand him because he is a bitch. Tom Brady is a bitch. And you know why I say that? Because he is a poor loser. Has anyone ever noticed when he loses, he doesn't shake anyone's hand. He doesn't do anything. He walks off the field.
Oh, he will if he thinks it's a contemporary, like Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees. But if it's anyone he deems underneath him, he will run and he will be this most sour super gremlin that will put Cam Newton to shame with the towel.
He is a poor loser. Every time I've seen him lose, like especially if it's like championship or like something, yes, cheers. He a poor loser. He like literally like stomps off the ground like a little 2-year-old. I'm like, seriously? And this is supposed to be the greatest player that ever. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's a fake goat. I said it on their show on Thursday. He's an absolute fake goat.
Oh my God, I cannot. And I cannot believe how 49er fans were like, we should be begging Tom Brady to come play with us. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I was so happy. and you know better than anyone, I am a huge fan of Stan. I am huge fan of love. I love Kyle Shanahan. I love him. Like, I think if I met Kyle Shanahan, I'd probably flip and have a heart attack right in front of his house. He'd probably be like, "Someone come help this woman. She just fainted. Oh my God!" Like, I don't know what to do.
Mavin Drew, Mike, you would definitely love her.
Yes, exactly. Right?
Mike, you would definitely love her.
Like, thing is, like, I could not believe how many people came after me. Like, I'm not lying. You could go on my Twitter feed. Like, people came after me because I said I did not want Tom Brady on our team.
Listen,
Girl, you got this girl
I think we all kind of went
fought
through that.
every troll on Twitter when she would come at them for calling out Jimmy Garoppolo, calling out all the people who let Shanahan down in certain plays. Like, she went complete postal warrior on their asses and owned anyone who came at her, and she backed up with facts and stats, and she didn't block a single one of them. She went after every single one of them. She put them in their place. She never backed down off her morals, and she never cussed anyone out, like really cussed them out. She backed up her stance, and it's one of the main reasons why I love her, and I claim her as a sister because she's just like the greatest person in the world, but she is not above calling out the stupid shit that happens in the faithful. And it is such a joy to watch.
I mean, my thing is, I'm sorry, like, people were like, oh, like, I'm sorry, I disagree, but people can disagree with me, that's fine. Like, oh, Tom Brady's way better than Joe Montana and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, he's not, because I'm sorry, the rules were completely different when Joe Montana won his Super Bowls and when Steve Young won their Super Bowls than when Tom Brady won their Super Bowls. I'm like, you can't touch Tom Brady. I'm like, Joe Montana and Steve Young used to get rocked when they played.
You changed the rules for Tom Brady. You changed the rules for Brady. You didn't do that for Young. You didn't do it for Montana.
Yes.
They made the tuck rule. They made the quarterback rule where you can't ever touch them. They made
hold on, don't forget the one where you can't touch below the ankles now.
Yep, they couldn't hit too high or too low. You have that like one little area. You can't land on or near a quarterback. That was the new rule at like the end of Tom Brady's.
And
let's not forget that nobody ever had to fucking film another franchise just to win a Super Bowl like the Patriots had to for that first year. And they still filmed the Bengals years later before Joe Burrow came there. Like, these people have been filming illegally all the time, and they get away with it, and then they're called the greatest dynasty. They're not the greatest dynasty.
That's why they call him Bill Cheat. Let's not forget, and please let me preference this statement by saying I am not picking up for Jimmy Garoppolo because I cannot stand Jimmy Garoppolo. But
that's the truth.
Jimmy Garoppolo, let's not forget, in the Kansas City Super Bowl game, if you remember, that boy got rocked underneath the helmet. Like, he got pretty much socked up. Like, his helmet came up, his head came back. And did we get called? Did we get the call?
No.
We should have got the yard penalty. We should have been way up. Like, Jimmy shouldn't have had to throw the ball as far as he had to throw it.
One of the ugliest penalties in that game was the bullshit call on Kittle right before half.
Oh, that was really pushing off. Come on. I'm telling you, that shit. Yeah. I literally was standing in front of my TV that whole Super Bowl yelling. I'm like,
oh no. What are you talking about?
You know what I was told? You know what I was told every time I say I don't like Jimmy G by other 49er fans?
You're not a real faithful?
No, I don't like winning.
Oh, that's the other one.
I don't like Jimmy G. I don't like winning. Like,
I heard that one too, dude. I heard that one too.
Dude, I mean, first off, you treating the quarterback like he's just golden. No, let's stop doing that.
I will say one thing. I will agree with this. When Jimmy first came, like, and I'm talking about like the first 5 games, okay? Like when he first got to us, his first 5 games, I was excited. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit, we finally got a quarterback. Like, woo! right? And then when like his first year, I was like, okay. But then like because everyone said like Shanahan's book, his playbook is so hard, it takes everyone at least, a year, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, give him some time. But then after that, like, I'm sorry, I'm out. Like my whole issue with Jimmy, one, I could tell that boy does not know what the word work means when the season's over because he don't do no work. And you know how I know that? Because he does not improve. You cannot tell me that you cannot improve in the off season when we watch you and you make the same flipping 15 mistakes that you made last year. What the hell's wrong with you?
Denise, real quick, do you blame it on an ACL? The ACL injury?
Hell no.
No, I do not blame it on the ACL because because people who say they blame it on his ACL, then what about Nick Bosa? Nick Bosa came back from an ACL and he came back and balled the hell out. And if you think about it, he came back and balled out, and Nick Bosa, like, I didn't expect Nick Bosa to be Nick Bosa because of the ACL, because of the position he played.
I didn't think he would have the bend again because he kept saying in the pressers that he couldn't bend the same way anymore. And
Bosa balled the hell out. And Jimmy, I'm sorry. My issue with Jimmy, and you know what Jimmy's problem was? And I used to say this on Rombo's show. Jimmy's problem was there was no one behind him to light a fire under his ass. Because, are you afraid of CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins? Well, of course not. You ain't worried about those punks taking your job.
No.
Beat your ass out. Like, Jimmy was the best quarterback on the team. I mean, they weren't going to beat him out. So he wasn't worried about anyone taking his job.
The most pathetic thing, though, was Mike Shanahan worked with him when he was injured in 2018 at the stupid juke move in Kansas City. And that's about the only time you've ever really heard Jimmy Garoppolo have any like outside influence in working hard or working with a great to try to improve and get the book better. Like that was the only time, and he ended up getting himself injured.
But even then, like when he got injured, like, I mean, I give him credit for trying to get a few more yards, but at the same time, it's like, Jimmy, you don't need to work harder, homeboy. You need to work smarter.
Absolutely.
Like, you ruined our season by getting hurt. Like, you should have just went down. Even with Trey, I love Trey Lance. I mean, let me be the one to tell you, boy, oh boy, as much as I love Kyle Shanahan, if he would have drafted Macaroni Jones, I would have thumped that boy into the ground. I would have been
Macaroni Jones?
Yeah. Well, a lot of
that was
people,
a good one, Danielle. That was a good one. I like that one.
People called him Macaroni Jones or mac and cheese or other variations of that because of the dad bod.
Serious. If as much as I love Kyle Shanahan, if he would have drafted Macaroni Jones, I would have probably flown to San Francisco just to wait for him outside in the parking lot and be like, Kyle, I love you, but you fucking drafted Macaroni Jones? Really? Really? Trey Lance and Justin Fields were right there for the picking, and you drafted Macaroni Jones. Homeboy, you could have waited at 12 and drafted Macaroni Jones.
And that was after he passed on the people in the 2017 draft, which I will never, ever forgive. Well, Kirk Cousins.
Here's my thing with Jimmy G. Before he came to the team, I was debating. I'm not gonna say arguing, but I was debating with a friend of mine. He's a huge Niners fan too, and we always talk every season.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Jimmy? Dude, I don't like any Patriots quarterback coming from behind Tom Brady. They do not pan out at all. So he talked me into giving him a chance, which I did. I'm like, okay. But here's the thing. With me, I follow patterns. When Jimmy got to the Niners, he did not know the playbook, so he was allowed to be himself.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Jimmy has talent when he does not go by the playbook. When he's playing Sandlot, he can really deliver. But when he has to sit there and think of the play and wait for it to develop and all, that's where his biggest weakness is to me. So the minute he learned that playbook or started studying it, because I still don't think he understand the whole damn playbook. But the minute he started looking at that playbook, he started confusing himself. That's how you see him go out there trying to be perfect. And he becomes a one read guy, or the first read guy, I should say, not just one read. He's just the first read, and boom, he goes. That's why Jimmy has such a quick release. He's not looking at the field. He's looking at one guy the whole way. That's why he throws so many interceptions as well.
And you know what's funny? I think you're 100% correct, because I can't remember where I heard this, to be honest with you, and I can't remember if it was a recorder or if it was on a show, but someone said that he still didn't know like the whole playbook. He still didn't know the whole playbook. And I'm like,
you can tell.
You mean after all this time, he still doesn't know the whole playbook? And that's why Shanahan was so impressed with Trey Lance, because they said that at the end of last year, Trey Lance already knew the whole playbook. He already had it down. The whole playbook.
I believe that's also why Trey and Mullins were part of like Shinny's heart so much, because not only did they both consume the playbook right away, but they both, during games, you could see them on the sidelines, you could see them afterwards when they had like footage of reporters like reporting from the field. These quarterbacks going through the games afterwards and going through the motions and going through what happened and what they would have done different. And these guys took the job seriously. They worked with the team. They worked with all the position players. They asked people to stay back with them. Brandon and you got a reputation for going before and after games, working with Lance and doing passes and throws and different plays with him. So it reminds me of one of my like least favorite pressers after the Packers game in Week 12. They asked Jimmy Garoppolo about the big trick play in quarters coverage where Kittle goes for that 63-yard touchdown. And I just remember there was a snippet of Jimmy going and saying that those are the kind of throws where the guy's so wide open you don't want to miss it. And I'm like, that's kind of your whole career. Like, this is something you worked on for months and months and months, and you admit that like at practice you missed it every single time. And yeah, you got the play off and George pulled it off beautifully, but like, this is your career. You don't go for the easy throw. Like, I'm not the biggest KB fan, but KB was put in a lot of really bad positions like George, because like Jimmy would go for the dumbest thing in throwing in like triple coverage all the time. So I agree with you.
Jimmy, like, I don't know about anybody else, but my thing with Jimmy too is he throws hospital balls. He acts like the players on our team are NBA players. Like,
I hated Buda Baker. I cringe every time there's an Arizona game and George Kittle's on the roster, because I'm afraid that damn knee is going to get hit again because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm like, dude, our players are not in the NBA. They are not 7 feet tall. Like,
yeah, but George is what, 6'4", 6'5", and he still has to jump at crazy ass angles to try to go up for those balls.
At least you can't say that about Bethel the Mullins. I mean, they was actually delivering the ball low enough to where the receivers didn't really have to jump. I mean, if you could think back, how many players did any one of those quarterbacks really get hurt, injured, versus Jimmy G?
None, really.
Exactly. Jimmy G damn near has all his guys' career.
I mean, the hamstrings to Juice and a few other players, that would have happened no matter who was the quarterback. That wasn't like you're super extending someone's knee or making them go up for crazy, like, you have to bend your body in like ridiculous pretzel like formations to go up for it. So those are just like normal wear and tear injuries.
I mean, can anybody blame Emmanuel Sanders for hauling ass after that Super Bowl? I mean, clearly he made Jimmy look like
I don't blame him, but I love that he said that he wanted to go play with a real quarterback, and then Drew Brees' arm was so freaking noodle that it was like you couldn't have embarrassed Emmanuel Sanders anymore because he was just like so beyond done. But Drew Brees wanted to go for those last few receiving records.
You think about all the plays up the middles that Emmanuel Sanders had to go get. It wasn't delivered to him. He had to literally go get Jimmy G's balls. and he made Jimmy look like see, I said it. And he made Jimmy G look like a damn quarterback that we have for the first 5 games of his 9 and 10 years.
But Mav, like 2 of the best games would be week 18 versus the Rams and week 14 versus the Saints back in 2019.
Okay.
And if you think about it, 2 of those plays, the touchdowns probably from the receivers are better than the actual touchdowns from the actual quarterback when they're throwing the ball. Like Emmanuel Sanders to Raheem Mostert after Juice gave it to him, and it was like that
was a beautiful
fake on fake. And then Deebo Samuel throwing it up for Juwan Jennings. I'm sorry, I watched that game. Like I know, like Jimmy King clutch or whatever you want to call it in overtime, but that was prettier than half of Jimmy's touchdowns throughout the whole year.
Jimmy's not clutch. He didn't come clutch. He would never be clutch.
I'm just saying that's what everyone said. That he came a clutch against the Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. You completely forget that Juwan Jennings and Deebo and George all had to get yacked to even get them in those situations. But
the only that I give Jimmy credit for, the only game that I will give Jimmy credit for that I think that he actually pulled out a win, the absolute only game that I give Jimmy credit for is the one against the Pittsburgh Steelers that Dante Pettis actually caught a pass.
I can't do that. Think about how many interceptions were in that game. Think about Dante Pettis.
Exactly.
Dante Pettis was nearly at the edge of the end zone, came back, looped up, and then stopped on a dead thing right there, and then reached his arms out like that, and then had to grab the ball and then run it in because Jimmy threw it so awfully. Like Dante Pettis, you can hate him all you want, but he peeled him out in that, and he peeled him off on Halloween when he did that Thriller dance for that touchdown.
No. Dante Pettis, that he came back, but Jimmy actually, that ball was right there when Dante Pettis turned around. So like Jimmy does get credit for that. But the reason I give Jimmy credit for that game is because Jimmy cost that game. He would have cost us the game because of the interceptions he threw, but he also brought us back. So that's why I'm saying that's the only game I give Jimmy credit for.
I mean, I respect it, but for me personally, I can't.
But
I think for me, the only game that I would give Jimmy credit for would be the first 5 games.
Yeah, especially the Jacksonville game.
Yeah, he actually looked like a quarterback.
That Jacksonville game where Kittle had the touchdown, and we finally got to shut up Jalen Ramsey after his shirt and shorts comment.
Okay.
You remember that? He said that it was going to be a hat and shorts game. Back when they were going for the AFC championship, and we just completely shut them, the Titans, the Texans, and everybody at the end of that year down.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Well, you have to remember too, like Jimmy. My thing is like, how about this? News is we don't have to worry about talking about Jimmy anymore because his ass is gone.
I would agree, but until I finally see 10 or 55 off this roster, I am not gonna believe it one iota because I keep getting my hopes up, and 10 to 55 are worse than what people call Dante Johnson or Jordan Matthews. They will never leave me alone. I need to see them gone first before I believe it.
I agree with you, Melissa. He has to be gone first before I believe it because, I keep hearing talks about, Jimmy could be traded for Baker, and Baker, what will he be doing as a Niner? Do we get picks for him? Do we get this for him? Jimmy might just restructure his contract and be a Niners backup. Like, what do we do? Are we still trading Jimmy? Are we cutting him?
Kyle, I believe the only reason I say Jimmy's gone is because I think, honestly, that if they do not get I think they do want something for Jimmy, but I think because Kyle has literally come out and said that Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback, and because they literally have come out and said that they're, once Jimmy's throwing, which supposedly at the start of July, Jimmy can start throwing the ball again, and that's what they're waiting for. Kyle said they're waiting for him to be able to throw before they can trade him. So once he can start throwing, they're going to, and I think, here's my thing, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because this is the one part about football that I am not good at, and that's the salary cap and all that. I suck at that. I have no clue. But my thing is, I think they're waiting to make sure he's healthy because he has to pass the physical. And I think once he passes the physical, if they can't trade him, then they're going to cut him. Because so I think, am I right that they don't have to pay him the injury guarantee, right? If he passes the physical, right?
If he passes that, I believe he still gets paid something because he's on the roster past June 1st.
I think it's like under $3 million if he can pass the physical, and it's a little less than $8 million if he gets the injury settlement.
Well, it's 7.5. If
that's what I said, under 8.
Yeah, 7.5 and like a little bit under 3, like you said. But he's safer. He is safer to cut than Baker Mayfield is because Baker gets cut.
Baker gets 19.9 guaranteed million no matter what. They picked up the 5th option. That's why the Cardinals are playing hardball, because as much as they're desperate for a quarterback, they are paying Sam Darnold's 5th-year option, and they're not going to pay for another whole 5th-year option. That's also going to be a one and done, like Cam Newton was brought in, or PJ Walker was brought in, and Matt Rule is on the complete hottest of hot seats like right now. So there's no way Carolina is going to pay for 2 5th-year options to 2 quarterbacks that can't A, stay healthy, and B, are not legitimate starters.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, that's why I think he's going to get. I think either they're going to try to trade him right before the start of the season, and if that doesn't work out, I think he's going to get cut.
I commend the 49ers to sticking to their guns and going forward with that. Well, I'm only commending them because me personally, I wouldn't give a damn. I would have been cut my losses. I don't care what I get back for it. It's not working. I throw it in the trash, point blank.
Yeah, but see, I also think it's a deadly pattern that the Niners are in. I mean, they held on too long with Dante Pettis. They thought they could force like the Giants or someone else to trade for him, and then they ended up having to pay him and cutting him, and still not getting anything back. They did the same thing with Jalen Hurts. They held on too long, and it's just like this really awful pattern that they feel they think they're justified to get something back in return, or that they don't want to give up on these guys that have clearly gone past their time here. And with how injured we have been in the last few years, it really pisses me off that we're wasting 53-man roster spots on these guys that we can't let go.
Let's go back to the Bill Walsh philosophy. If you're in the Niners organization and you want to get something back for any player of whoever it is, let's take Debo for example with his situation. Right now is the time to get anything back, and a matter of fact, to get more compensation back for Debo now, because once he steps onto that field, and God forbid he gets an injury that keeps him out for a week or two, his value goes down from there, because now you're just gonna keep getting injured.
That's how Denise remembers I felt last year. I was like, I get everyone wants another year Jimmy just to say, well, look, he's off his injury. He can do this. He can do that. They wanted to remind people that Jimmy was a winner, but I told her, this guy's not going to stay healthy. And even if he does stay healthy, he's going to show people why they shouldn't trade for him. Like, that was my major concern last year. Like, you have your new quarterback. You have that guy that's up and coming.
I agree with that, but honestly, I'm glad that they sat Trey. I really am. And not because I'm a Jimmy fan, because I am the furthest thing from a Jimmy fan.
I know how you feel about that. I'm saying that's what I remember from last summer telling you. Like, that was my big gripe. Like, I didn't think waiting a year and having him in the playoffs was going to help. And it didn't end up helping.
You got to remember, too, though, that's how they used to do it back in the 90s. A rookie didn't jump on the field right away. Some rookies waited 2 years to even see the field.
Oh, I know.
So I mean, we are so impatient now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I agree with you. I think that's the way it should be. Everyone wants to start the rookies right away, and I think it's the wrong philosophy. I think you should let them sit a year, take it all in, learn the playbook, learn how to take care of your body, learn everything. And people want to say Trey didn't learn anything by running scout team. I disagree. I disagree 200%. I think he learned a lot. And I think that's why he looks as good as he does, like now doing the you know, what do you call
OTAs.
the thank you.
OTAs
That's the word I was looking for.
I was one of the people that wanted Trey to get in because I wanted Jimmy out so bad, and I felt like with the more reps he could only get better, and he has proven that in OTAs. But I will admit that I'm glad he sat down for that year because he had enough time to really grasp the concept of the playbook, the concept of the team, Kyle Shanahan, period. And versus Jimmy G, like you said, who does not work in the offseason. Had he been taking time his first 2 years to actually learn the playbook and go out there and do it, he probably would have still be a Niner right now. We still probably be like, okay, Jimmy, you know, that's who we sticking with. That ain't no point because he knows the playbook and he's running it to perfection. We would be talking that, but that's not what we're talking.
See, I get you where you guys are coming from, and I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just, to me, I think there were games like the Colts game. I think the Packers game. There would have been games where I think Trey would have done better, and I think because of the pressure from the Yorks, and I think because of the pressure from Jimmy having his people leak stuff to the media, I think they went away from that two quarterback sets, and I think they went away from giving Trey experience on the field, and that for me kind of pissed me off because those games were so close, and I think that if you had just brought in like a little spark to the offense, because those games, they start off slow. Like I think it was like 12 straight games last year where we didn't score a single point in the first quarter.
Something like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? Trey's better. I mean, to me, there's no argument there. Trey is going to be better. Like the thing with the 49er fans, the 49er faithful, to me, is going to be patient. We're going to see how much patience our faithful has because Trey's going to go through.
It depends on the person that you're around, though. Like I think the last couple of years have really proved who are faithful, who are hateful, who are just there for clicks and getting a bunch of likes and retweets and getting their name out there as being the person with the hot take, and then who are the real like genuine fans that know it's going to be game in, game out. There's going to be ups, downs, whatever, but you stay with the colors and you stay with the team.
Exactly.
Ryan, you're muted.
Yeah, I know. I had to do it with my son here real quick. Sorry. Yeah, well, that's all I have. You guys, if you guys want to go off, it's up to you guys. I'm all good.
Yeah, I'm good. I gotta go. I have some grocery shopping I must do.
Go take care of life.
I gotta go pick up my son in 30 minutes.
All
yeah,
right.
I have wifely duties I have to attend to.
No problem, Denise. Thank you for coming on. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Y'all be
Thank you
safe.
for having me.
You too. Okay.
I told you.
I know she's cool. She's very
I
cool.
told
I like
you.
her. She's very cool. So let me see here. Anything else that looks like he's gonna give me his tablet. So anything else you want to write off?
We're bringing up Pick at the Stick next time.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
I said we're bringing up Pick at the Stick next time. So I really want to hear what people's answers to that.
Yeah. I know we are running out of a little time. That's the reason why I wanted to get everybody's
No, I understood.
memory stuff. So I'm what deal is about the memory shows. I'm gonna try to do at least one a month. Basically, probably towards the end of the month. And
You know what would be really fun is if we wrote them down and then we try to come up with better, like new, best, and worst every single time. So there's like no copying each Super Bowl and championship games and everything else.
I got you. So basically, my next one is probably going to be saddest to happiest. I figured the two more out. So I think it'd be good.
You know I'm mentioning the Packers.
So,
You know I'm mentioning the Packers for happiest.
So yeah, that was our show, and I'm gonna go off like I always do. And I want to thank Pamela Queen for coming here with her comments. Thank you so much, Pamela
We
Queen.
love you, Panama.
And of course, Nick Cork for the one. Good evening in the morning. Hey Nick, what's up, bud? So give it a shout out, of course. Let me share plugs and all that stuff, and do it right here. There you go. Much better. First one to do. And of course, I know I didn't do it in the beginning because everybody started talking. So catch Mav on the convo with Mav Cato. His Twitter handle page, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday nights on YouTube and IG. For that on our life, Coach Ron. You catch his on 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Monday nights on YouTube and Twitter. And of course, Bias D, Drewski, that was on here. He has a show coming up soon. Hopefully, he'll get it going. Hopefully, it does. It'll be great. I think it'll be great. And of course, good old Paul, 49 for UK, Club 85.
And Ruby, who was a scene sealer, and we absolutely adored having with us the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And no matter what, I'm going to help just plug him out because I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about him, but I will go on a show just to show my support to his channel, of course. But a lot of things are going on with him, and I don't want to go into the details of him about it. So, but Shank Club NFL, that's his Twitter handle, and of course you can catch on his times and only on Saturdays on YouTube. All right. So that was the show, and of course the newcomer Denise. She was great. She was cool. That's how you follow her. That's her Twitter handle. All right. That's her Twitter handle. And of course, you can catch Melissa anytime. Twitter. That's hers. All right.
And Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Instagram. And of course, I want to thank my fellows, at least, of course, Money Mav, and of course, Drewski for latecomers. I'm glad he made it in time. So, and of course, Coach Ron, GM Mikey, and TJ. I'll see you guys on Thursday, all right? So, and then, of course, Nick Welsh, and of course, Paul Hope for going here to do your thing. And of course,
And love to Club 85.
Mm-hmm. Club 85. So, that's all plugs I know I got. So, in that case, I'm closing it down. Keep the faith, never lose hope, people. Let on, fellas. Let on, guys. Later.